Happy Sunday, kids and cadets. Christmas Eve, almost. Good to see you guys. So, yesterday, my son Greg and I were out at Myakka Head, Florida, which is in northeast Manatee County, very close to Duette, Florida. So, there's a large solar farm out there, Florida Power and Light. Also in Duette, you'll have the Mosaic phosphate mine. So it's surface mining. They take the phosphate sand, so to speak, and they truck it off site for processing. Phosphate is one of the three elements in your common yard or farm fertilizer. You've got nitrogen and potassium and phosphate. So big phosphate mine, Mosaic, they actually own mineral rights to a lot of the acreage out there. You'll have a house on the property, but Mosaic owns the mineral rights. In other words, at any time in the future, if they want to mine the land, they can take your house. So what do we got here in Southwest Florida? It's 78 degrees. So if you're looking for a white Christmas here in Florida, you're not going to have it. It's 25 degrees Celsius for my Swiss and Spanish viewers in beautiful Spain. So Greg and I met a nice guy yesterday, Dave, and his 3-year-old black lab Lexi. Super nice guy. He had 10 machines listed for $75. I ended up giving him 100 for the batch, $10 each. Some of them are going to be turds, like this Boland's, which happens to be a 2015. You can hear this one. The deck is so rotted, the blade's hitting the deck, so I can't start this thing. If you heard that banging. So I've got a couple of good decks with bad engines, so this will be a good candidate. I would try to start it, but I'm not going to start it with that blade hitting the metal. It's got the longer style shaft, so this will be a good engine to move on to something else. So last week I took an intensive training course online, and I actually took the test on Friday, and now I'm certified. I have another certification to add to my growing resume. This was very difficult to get. They don't give this to everybody. And if you message me on the inbox, I'll tell you how you can do it as well. So since I'm newly certified, I've gone ahead and zip tied both of these Briggs & Stratton engines here on the safety linkage, just because the cables are rusty, or I'm missing the bail bar. This one's rusted and not doing anything, and this one here is rusty on the machine next door, missing a bolt on the handle, but we'll get to that. That one's been zippy tied too, just to try to start this. So let's get back to this crafty craft. It's a, what is it? I can tell you in a minute. It looks like it's been reworked by somebody. Give me a minute, don't go anywhere. I gotta read the EPA sticker. They're making it difficult. I don't see the date code on this. Yeah, I do. 2011, sorry, on this crafty 50E. So probably because this has been sitting for a while, you got rust, but the main issue here was the recoil's not retracting. So I dug up a Troy built recoil with a cutout for the long tube, so I can use that recoil on this one. We don't have any rope on this one, and I can use the recoil on this. I needed to find one with the cutout here for the dipstick in order to try it. So I'm gonna, what are we gonna do? We're gonna try the turkey baster. Since it's almost Christmas, you guys might be having turkey again. I'm gonna do a little basting here on my gasoline melted turkey baster. Oh boy, that's ugly. Oh boy, it really pulled up a bunch of snot. Holy cow, you're gonna love this. It's nearly all water. In fact, I think it is all water and oil. Holy cow, I haven't seen one that was nearly all water, but this is it. Got some floating snot, some bugs, and some other shit. So, this might be hard to start, but I'm gonna grab a can of carb cleaner, which I should have had out here, but I don't. I did get 4 gallons of Wawa non-ethanol, however, yesterday after I met with Dave and Lexi. Greg and I stopped and I got some fresh Wawa non-ethanol. Let me get a can of Super Crud carb cleaner, which I do, highly flammable. Don't inhale this. Part of the certification that I took, they talk about safety precautions. Never inhale this stuff. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to get rid of the broken recoil. We're going to put this Troy built thing on here first. We got a lot to do. Some of these machines I won't be able to start just because they're rusted through or missing wheels or something's astray. But I think this one we can try. I think the next 3 machines actually have no recoil rope, so this Troy built recoil is going to go down the line. Okay. Kind of dirty, been sitting around, some oak leaves. Does it even have oil? Yeah, it's got oil. So we're going to happy juice this thing and see if it fires off. It's not going to run on water, so I don't have to worry about killing the engine with the zippy tie. So what are you guys hoping for under the tree tomorrow or later tonight? You guys looking for tools, power equipment? Okay, let me yank on this turd. Seems like it's got good compression. Maybe it's not going to overcome all that water. Oh, I lost my little red tube. Oh yeah, triple shot of that juice. Now we're cooking with fire. Let's go. Okay, blades bent. It was shaky and vibrating, but it did fire off. Carb clean on this. What I'm thinking about doing is putting red tape on these 10, and then when we go through them, we can recall which batch they came out of, just to try to keep track of profitability on this group of 10 for 100. I could get real technical and keep track of cost of cables and see what my cost versus profit are. Might be too much work. I'm kind of lazy. The only thing I keep track of is total profit for the year and how many I sold. And so far this year, I'm still at 130 mowers. And I don't anticipate anything else happening here around Christmas or New Year's. Okay. So those go there. Huh. Okay. Let's, I'm just looking at the pawls. This is, got the straight pawl cup on it. But the spring out pawl here actually worked on it, and I didn't realize that. I didn't know that would work like that. So this thing might be shot. Okay, same thing. I got a clean cup. We're gonna look this thing over. This has been zippy tied due to the safety brake cable. I'm not even gonna check oil. It's not gonna run, I believe, for very long, but you never could tell. It might be something where the safety cable killed it. Okay, we got actually fuel in this, but there's a lot of contamination and some water droplets in the bottom. So this is a better prospect, yet it's still dirty. There's a lot of garbage down there. Brown stuff floating around and a few water droplets, not many. So this thing might start. I'm going to get some needle nose just in case this thing wants to keep running. You never can tell. So I can pull the plug wire off. I don't want any accidents. Christmas Eve, the emergency room is going to be busy, I'm guessing. Okay, so that's that. We know the fuel looks somewhat clean. Plus the rope broke. That might have been a big issue. The cable secondary rope might have broke. This thing could have been sitting for a couple of years. Vines have grown up through the recoil. This thing's been sitting under a tree. Okay, I hate these red shields here. These beauty ring deals are a pain in my ass. Come on. Down and out. I hear the mailman who's sending me money. I got some parts coming in. Tip your delivery person or personnel, as long as you're tipping your waitress and wait staff. Those delivery dudes and dudettes are doing a good job. Okay, so we got a bee's nest. This thing's been sitting forever and ever. pine needles. Okay, here's the mailman. Damn it, he went by to the neighbors. He didn't leave me shit. So that's unfortunate. Okay. This looks like a complete unit on the Murray, 2017 Murray. Let me grab some bolts from the previous machine. Okay, it's got the side chute, which is good, just missing the bolt on the handle. Blade looks like it's all there. And it doesn't look bent. Slightly off, but I think we're in good shape. All right, time to get serious. We got a lot of shit to look at. Crumbly on the air filter. Probably the original one from 2017. Let me goose this and pull on it. Time to get serious about small engines. So I think this has got more potential than anything, due to the fact I didn't see a whole lot of water in the sample. Still got to be cleaned out though. I don't like all that debris. Okay, let's pull on this high wheeler. Okay, so that's a good prospect. Start and stall on the Murray 21 inch 2017. So we'll try to redo the recoil on this, get another cable for it, and sharpen the blade, and a bolt for the handle. Okay, let's move you down. I got to remove this recoil one more time. All we're doing is leapfrogging down the row. So I'll get my money back on this one. I'll do 130 on this. I paid 100 for the lot, so plus gas money. My son bought me lunch, so I didn't have to fork out dough for that. Okay, this front wheel drive Poulon Pro, I think the front wheels were locked up. Yeah, I don't think I could roll it. Yeah, it's not rolling. Recoil broken on this one as well. Another 2017 on the Poulon Pro. I'm going to bring you over here. So I can turn this on its side. I just want to take a look at the underside, see if I can see anything on the front wheel drive that's making this thing bind up. We got some build up here. Blade looks okay, just needs to be sharpened. The belt is loose. So maybe it's rust. Oh, there we go. We're getting a little action now. Okay, now we're moving both of them. So it just needs some lubrication, I think. The PR550 Yankee 22 Romeo 3 2017. Let me do the recoil deal. Oh, okay. What we can do is little fuel sample now that we got it upright. We'll do fuel sample and change out the recoil. Okay, very, very little. There's some down at the very bottom in the cavity. I don't know if I can get a sample. I just did. And same thing with this. Looks straight fuel, but a little bit of debris, a little bit of water droplets. So probably regular 10% ethanol. So this is probably going to start. Recoil rope broke. They put it to the street just because they couldn't go to the big jungle company and get this whole recoil assembly. I've done videos on how to change these things out. It's simple. You remove this with the 3 tabs here, and this just clicks back into place. Be sure your pull cord faces the right direction and you're good to go. So this thing may even stay running. If the gas was that clean, there's enough to let it run for 10 minutes. There's not much in there, but there's enough. Hope you guys didn't have anything better to do. Who do we got leaving? Southwest is leaving. Why are they leaving Christmas Eve? It's 78 degrees. Who wants to go to Chicago when it's probably 10 degrees? Stay in Florida. So I hope Dave out in Myakka Head calls me again when he gets another 10 junk machines. This is turning out to be a good deal. I see some potential right now with just these. Maybe I'd have more time to throw a ball for Lexi. Okay, what do we got? We got a primer here. I'm just going to see if this does anything on its own before I juice it. Original air filter. Okay. This one, the cables are actually look like they're decent. The drive cable and the safety brake are not rusty. Okay, so there's my money. Front wheel drive worked. Started. A little smoky. So what did this thing is just the recoil, and I kicked up a bunch of sand. Sorry about that. I knew that was going to be an issue with the sand. So this is the home run right here. So far I'm happy. Redo the recoil on this, or just put one of my aftermarket $15 recoils on this thing, and we're looking good. Deal with this is I gotta go through the front wheel drive. This thing was scalping the grass. Look how low it is. No wonder it was kicking up all that sand. It's kicked so much that it kicked it up on the Toro recycler. This is the next unit we're going to look at. So if we've got luck with this, this was a home run yesterday on this batch from Myakka Head. Okay, so what can we do here? I guess start looking around, move some of this junk out of my way to make space. Okay, probably do a fuel sample on this. Since that's our trend, yep, there is fuel in it, so we'll do a fuel sample. Okay, been sitting a while. The air filter cover's got a bunch of cockroach turds. You probably don't have cockroaches like this up north, but that's all turds from cockroaches. They were living here in the paper element. They like to eat a lot of paper products, so they'll chew on this paper element. So that means this thing's been sitting. They're not going to go in here and do that kind of nesting if this thing's started every week. I'm so proud of that. I worked terribly hard to get that. Okay. Wow. This is root beer. This is terrible. So we got fuel issue right now. Kind of weird brown, and there's some fuel that's actually settling to the top. Yeah, we got water. We got kind of like 3 layers here. I'll show you in a minute if I can. Water's going to the bottom. We got some brown layer in the middle, and a little bit of clear fuel at the top. So we know where we are on this thing. It's going to be a fuel deal. Let me give you the year of this recycler and the model number, because I like to do that. Since it's a recycler, I've been messing with these a lot lately. I'll give you the model number, the 20371. I bet you it's a 2016, and it is a 2016. Okay, so a lot of crud buildup here. Blades worn out on the ends, and you can see the rust here. This stupid blade washing system here, the sticker attracts or gets water trapped underneath, and then you get a big rust hole in this area. So you guys at Toro, that was a shit design. It just causes deck rot right there. You don't see any other deck rot around. It's where the moisture gets trapped under that quick wash sticker. Okay, let me grab Happy Juice, because this here isn't going to do anything. Kind of just settled down a little bit since I took it out. You see that? There's a water level, a water line there at the bottom. It seemed like all the brown shit now went to the bottom, but dirty fuel. That's dirty fuel, kids and cadets. Okay. I'm gonna juice it straight away. Gonna put the filter and the cover back on because we're gonna go on to the next set of machines. This thing isn't gonna run with brown water in the tank. So if it fires off, this is another perfect candidate to make money. Both the cables are here and not rusty and working. I would touch up the paint around that quick wash and put a new blade on it. So this thing here is going to be a home run if it kicks off and it doesn't rattle. Okay, that was surprising. Maybe there was enough good fuel in the bowl, but the deal is I engaged the front wheel drive and we didn't have anything. Let me bring you back over. Do we need to see if the belt's broken? Or is there too much slack in the cable? Yeah, there's quite a bit of slack in the cable. That might be the issue. The blade belt is there. Is it on the front pulley? Let me put my fingers up there and try to see. Did it come off the front pulley? Put my big fat head up here. It appears it's on this pulley, so I think it's belt tension. So super good, like I said, blade on this Toro recycler today. Yesterday was a home run. I'm happy today that I got all this stuff as potential money makers. It's like an early Christmas here, Christmas Eve. I'm getting all this good stuff. Okay, what do we got? We got a Boland's. I redid a couple of these old green Boland's with the Pulsar Jets recently. This one happens to be 2010 on this Boland's, 11th month, 4th day of 2010. So deck is rusty, blade is complete. You can see the pinholes here in the front. Something's going on here with the pull rope. There's no handle. I got to zippy tie this one. Do we want to even mess with it? The cable broke. Somebody's got a Mickey Mouse job on here. What I could do is vice grip this real quick to try to start it. If this tank's rusty, I'm just going to bypass it for right now. Yeah, we got we got brown, little bit of brown liquid in there. So I'm not going to even try this. I'd have to get my zippy tie out. I don't even know if there's enough string in here to pull this. So this is going to go forward. When I mean forward, I'm going to bring up the other Pulsar Jet and put it in its place. So This would be a cheap $100 machine just because of this. I would take some old motor oil and paint the underside to give it a couple more years, but this would be a cheap $100 machine, and I think it's rectifiable. I don't think we're going to have an issue getting this thing to go. Let me just turn it over and try spinning the blade around all the way. Yeah, it's not locked up. It's not locked up. I see the carburetor spring rusted off and it's broken right there. So it needs some attention, but it has potential. Okay. So I have not had one yet with catastrophic damage. So this one here, it's got an issue with the recoil. It's just sitting up here. There's no nuts and bolts, or the bolts are gone. So cable is complete, but it's extremely stiff. I'm trying to put some pressure on it. This thing's going to snap. So this is a 2010, 6 month of 2010. I'm just going to turn this to the side and see if this one's locked up. And then we go on to the Power Smarts. Sorry, this might be taking a while. Blade looks good as far as wear. Let's try to rotate this thing. I'm going to take the recoil and put it to the side because it was binding since the bolts are gone. Okay, let me pick a mark on the deck and see if the blade's bent. Okay, I got a mark picked out. Might be. No, same spot, and it did rotate 360. So this has got potential as well. I need a trap door. I don't see any rust through, just a little surface rust. And what do they call this? They call it a Craftsman. So this would be another cheap $100 machine. What do we got in here? More brown liquid. We can actually do a sample. I like these older pulses with the diaphragms. You just clean up the tank, put a fresh diaphragm on it, and these things are rock solid. A lot of you don't like them. I don't have any issues with these. They're cheap $100 units. Okay, we got a little bit. And it's watery and it got debris. I just dropped a couple of droplets here. Look, you can see the water droplets here on the deck where I spilt some fuel, and it's starting to settle down. The debris and the water is settling out. Anyway, that is a layer. You got about half water at the bottom with debris and half old fuel. So we know what we need to do with this. This 2010 Crafty. So out of all of them, we haven't had anything that I see so far that's going to be an issue except for these two here. You know I don't like the Power Smarts. They're both 170 cc's, and we'll discuss these. But first, they got to be christened. Okay, let me show you this one here. This is the second one I've seen on this design where the handle just pops up because they didn't put a big washer back in the plastic. I rectified another one with longer bolts and a wider washer. So this is a design flaw. When it pops up like that, it's just pulling through the plastic. So that's crapola. What year is this thing? 2020. They always seem to be a couple years old, and then they get pushed to the street. If this was a Briggs, it wouldn't be pushed to the street after 3 years unless they broke the recoil or put water in the tank. So cable is still intact. Let's just try this thing. Let me put you on the stand, walking around like a chicken with its head cut off. I got to get Mr. Chicken. He's over here lonely. So 2020 power crap. Dave's going to think I don't like his stash in Mowers, but I'm extremely happy so far. This was a good score. Okay, we're going to keep dancing around. Okay, it's got fuel in it. We're going to look at fuel. The black one that I christened with the turd doesn't have a blade on it. Somebody swiped the blade and the 2 front wheels, so I'm not going to mess with that one without a blade on it, and I'd have to block up the front end, and I'm not going to do that. Okay. It looks kind of old, but I don't see any water. And we got the neighbor's black cat. He's prowling my front yard. He's ignoring me. Okay, I'm going to pull on this thing. Maybe this is fuel related. Or did the handle scare him away? Trying to push this thing and the handle keeps plopping forward can be a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Let's just see if there's a blade on this. There is a blade down there. Okay, a little hesitation when I grab the blade, like this thing's been sitting, maybe moisture in the cylinder, but I broke that free. No air filter. So I'm gonna juice it. I'm gonna go right to juicing it. Okay, who's making noise? Can't tell. Okay, it's got oil. Where's my juice can? Okay, there it is. It's on the Toro recycler. Hope you guys are still with me. You might have bailed. You going to get eggnog? Okay, that was really wet and moist. Now it's time to pull. First, why don't I bring this up to 5 so I'm not chopping sand. I don't like chopping sand. Neither does the blade. Well, that's weird. The rear end was high and the front was low. That was uneven. Oh, it kicked off. What do you know about that? They have a really weird sound, these power craps. Now, who knows? You never can expect the same thing with these power craps. It's always something different. They're unpredictable. I kicked off before. I just saw something moving. Did we get a cockroach riled up? Okay, I'm done pulling on that. Okay. Just pulling on the turd. It just wanted to kick off. I just wanted to see if it had compression. And it felt like it wanted to start. Okay, last but not least, glad you're still with me. 1995, excuse me. 95 on the Weed Eater Pro, or 96, something like that. 95, 6 month, 27th day of 95. The 120802-0860-01 on the engine. So, this thing might be a lost cause. I thought I had the carburetor with it, but it's just the backing plate cover and the recoil. I don't have the carb. Missing the governor spring. So I don't know what we can do with this. It's kind of been doctored up here with some spray paint to try to cover the rust. Cables gone for the front wheel drive, and no safety brake cable, and no safety brake linkage back here. So this thing might be too far gone to try to salvage. The Hilo Delta 81486 Delta is the product number on the Poulon Weed Eater machine. Made in USA, Swainsboro, Georgia, or McRae, Georgia. I had another high wheeler that I did a video on. I may have aired it, or it's coming up soon. So, what do we got? 3 here that aren't going to do shit. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 6.5. I'm going to use the engine on this for another machine. So 6.5 with potential 6 complete units that I think we can rectify with a few parts. So let me know what you think. This was the walkthrough video. Yesterday was pick 'em up. Today was looky look. I don't see any drastic issues on the ones with potential. The power smarts are going to be stored in that high wheeler. Weed Eater is probably going to be for parts. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that Quantum, missing too much stuff to make it worth my while. with the parts and the time I put into that thing, it's not going to bring enough money to make it worth it. So I kind of was using the other container and then dumping everything into this to show you for each machine. So you can see here the layer of water that's built up versus gas. So out of all these machines, you can see that layer of water down there. You can see it better now. So a third water and 2/3 gas, it looks like. Kind of crazy, huh? The fuel that you find in these things. Anyway, thanks for coming out. Merry Christmas. Have a good day tomorrow. I'll throw another one at you tomorrow on the 2 units that got dropped off this week. Don't know where they came from. I think they were from my new Cuban scrapper. If I see him going around the neighborhood, I'm going to have to flag him down and try to figure out if those are his machines. Kind of hard to communicate, but super sweet guy. I want him to keep bringing me junk, and I'll give him cash for his efforts. Anyway, have a good evening. Have a good day tomorrow. I'll be throwing some more videos at you this week. As always, please tip your waitress and wait staff. Thanks for coming out. Like I said, I'm happy with these 10 units from Myakka Head. You always know that there's going to be stuff that's not going to work out for you in a large group. You just take it all and work with what you got. So, but the percentage on this group, we got more with potential and very few that aren't going to do anything for us. Anyway, thanks again for coming out. Enjoy your holiday. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. Let me know what you think. Talk to you soon.